Hey everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records. It's time for our weekly foray into a look at some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. As always, we're just going to hit the highlights. The list, as usual, is way too big to get into in such a short and concise video. But if you would like to see that full list of all of these upcoming releases, all you need to do is head over to our website at radiowasteland.com. From there, look for the upcoming releases link, click on that, you'll see a PDF that has everything there is to see coming out for this upcoming week. For now, though, let's dive into these new releases scheduled for Friday, the 19th of September, 2025. And kicking things off this week, we've got a brand new one from the Southfield, Michigan group Prevail. This new one is called Violent Nature. Our description says that Prevail return with their fourth album, Violent Nature, marking vocalist Eric Van Leberg's first foray as the only singer of the band, tackling both clean and harsh vocals. Recorded in 2 stints at Blackbird Studios in Nashville, this was a self-produced album under the guidance of bassist and keyboardist John Eberhard. Welcome to the new era of Prevail. Not only is this the most brutal, extreme, and ferocious version of the band to date, they're also blistering with intention, passion, and energy. Okay, that's a lot to be said. Violent Nature, the brand new one from Prevail. 2 vinyl versions of this, a black vinyl version coming in at $25 for a suggested list price, and the indie exclusive version of this coming on clear smoke vinyl. $26 is the suggested list for that indie exclusive version. Next up is something brand new from Motion City Soundtrack. This is called The Same Old Wasted Wonderful World. Our description says that after a 10-year absence that left a void in the hearts of millennial emo kids everywhere, Motion City Soundtrack are finally back, and yes, it's everything that you'd hoped for. Again, that's our description. The Same Old Wasted Wonderful World feels like coming home. It's a dizzying, emotional, articulate blast of guitar-laced pop punk that reminds us why this band was so much fun in the first place. 2 versions of this one from Motion City Soundtrack, the standard black vinyl version coming in at a suggested list price of $24, and then there is an indie exclusive on opaque orange vinyl, this one coming in at $26. Continuing this trend of seeing new albums from older bands, here is something brand new from 38 Special. It is called Milestone. The description tells us that Milestone marks 38 Special's first studio record in more than 20 years, and it showcases the group's platinum-selling blend of muscle and melody, snarling guitars, hooks, and the desire to break new ground. Written between tour dates over the past couple of years and recorded during a series of live in-studio performances, Milestone is a snapshot of a band in motion, flying the flag for an enduring form of classic rock and roll that never dies. Milestone, the brand new one from 38 Special. Looks like we only have a colored vinyl version of this and an orange swirl-looking vinyl. List price coming in at around $30. Sarah McLachlan is also back with a brand new one. This is called Better Broken. The description says that Sarah McLachlan first emerged as a global phenom over 3 decades ago, introducing an unprecedented new voice into the pop canon. Soulful, spellbinding, and supremely capable of transforming pain into transcendence. On her first album of new material in 11 years, Better Broken finds the Canadian singer-songwriter widening her creative circle and furthering her legacy with songs that speak an uncompromisingly but radical illuminating truth with the state of the human condition. Again, I gotta say, I love these PR firm descriptions we're getting here. Lots of great stuff. Better Broken, the brand new one from Sarah McLachlan, coming on black vinyl. $25 for a suggested list price, and then there is an indie exclusive coming on blue colored vinyl. $26 is the suggested list price for that one. Up next, a new one from Cardi B. This is called Am I the Drama, a double LP. Black vinyl version of this coming in at a suggested list price of $40, and an indie exclusive coming on blue colored vinyl. This one coming in at a suggested list price of $40. Again, brand new one from Cardi B. Finally, on the new releases, we've got 2 versions of a soundtrack coming from 9 Inch Nails, and this is from the film Tron Ares. The description says that 9 Inch Nails returns with over 70 minutes of new music from the motion picture Tron Ares, featuring singles As Alive as You Need Me to Be and Who Wants to Live Forever. The first version pressed on double LP 180-gram black vinyl with the red cover, coming in at a suggested list price of $40, and there is another alternate version of this with a white cover and white vinyl. This one is the limited edition one, but it doesn't say it is an indie exclusive, just limited, but $40 also the suggested retail price for that one. Onward now to the reissues scheduled for the 19th of September, and we've got some news about a big one that's going to be rationed. Yep, we've been waiting for some time now for this reissue of the Buckingham Nicks album. They put this out quite a while ago. 3 versions of this. We have been informed that one version, the high fidelity one, the unnumbered high fidelity version, is going to be, as they say, allocated, i.e. that will be rationed to the stores that ordered it. The good news, if there is any on this, is that it will be repressed again sometime this fall, but they're not saying when. So for stores like ours who had ordered multiple copies of this high fidelity one, what this means is we will be getting fewer, far fewer in some cases, less numbers of those. Side note, for those of you who have ordered from our store, looks like we're going to get enough to cover pre-orders. Maybe we'll have to see exactly how this shakes out in the next week or so. But again, the good news is down the line sometime this fall, they're saying we'll get a second pressing, so we will get more of them. It'll just be eventually. So let's take a closer look at the 3 versions of these that technically are available. The description says that this is the legendary debut studio album from Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. But Buckingham Nicks is the only studio album created by Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks as a duo prior to them joining up with Fleetwood Mac. Originally released in 1973 and unavailable on vinyl for decades, and that means this has been bootlegged many times. The album has been sourced from the original analog master tapes for this long-awaited return to vinyl. So the single LP high-fidelity version of this comes with a book. The list price on that one is $40, but again, this is the one we're being told is going to be rationed and then repressed again at a later date. But the good news is I think there's going to be plenty of the colored vinyl versions of this, not high fidelity, but still kind of cool. There's a blue vinyl version of this coming in at a suggested list price of $25 and a pink vinyl version of this, also $25 for a suggested list price. So if you've been waiting and hoping for the high fidelity version of this, again, the numbers are going to be very limited on the first pressing, but a second pressing will be coming in a couple of months. But you can always pick up one of these colored vinyl versions if you'd like, and it's a little bit cheaper to boot. Up next on the reissues, we've got a mini box set of sorts coming from Jim Croce. This is called the Definitive Croce. Our description says that this is a collection of Jim Croce's unparalleled run of gold certified studio albums released in 1972 and 1973. All 3 of these albums feature updated mixes by Paul Hicks, who's done work with George Harrison and John Lennon. The first is the 1972 studio album, You Don't Mess Around with Jim. This album reached number 1 and features the number 1 single, Time in a Bottle. The second is the 1973 studio album, Life and Times. This album reached the top 10 and features the number 1 gold certified single, Bad Bad Leroy Brown. And finally, the third album in this set is the final Jim Croce studio album, I Got a Name, which was released in 1973. So as you can see, all 3 of these albums come on a different colored vinyl, and inside they seem to be featuring a reproduction of their original cover, so that's very cool. Colors of the vinyl, by the way, being described as blue, cream, and orange. Comes at a price, though, this triple LP set, the Definitive Croce, listing for $70 suggested retail price. Next up is a black vinyl reissue of Blue Oyster Cult, the self-titled one, coming from Music on Vinyl. 180-gram black vinyl, and it's MOV, so it is going to sound absolutely fantastic. This is the 1972 debut album featuring Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll and Stairway to the Stars, amongst many others from Blue Oyster Cult, originally released in 1972. So again, the self-titled Blue Oyster Cult black vinyl reissue coming from Music on Vinyl, $39 is the suggested list price here. From Friday Music, we're getting a reissue of Black Rose from Thin Lizzy. Black Rose, a rock legend, I should say. Technically the name there on this release. Limited edition clear blue vinyl, also being called an anniversary edition, by the way. Black Rose from Thin Lizzy, the list price on this one is $38. Getting a little bit heavier, here is a reissue from Disturbed and 10,000 Fists. Double LP coming on Yellow Flame vinyl, originally released in 2005. Disturbed and 10,000 Fists, $37 is the suggested list price for this. Up next, let's get a little bit punky with the Descendants and a reissue of their Milo Goes to College LP. This is a fun album, and it is a pricey one. Valuable if you ever find an original copy. I'd say go for that. But in the meantime, you can get a couple of different versions of this reissue. This is one of the seminal works, according to our description, from the genre to become known as pop punk. Milo Goes to College from the Descendants. We are getting a black vinyl version of this coming in at a suggested list price of $29. And there is a colored vinyl version of this coming on a gray swirl vinyl. This one very cool looking as well. $31 is the suggested list price for that one. And then just because there's also a Milo Goes to College, a punk note edition, i.e. this is the punk version of the Blue Note series, kind of emulating that on the jazz side of things. These are cool collectibles if you're into the punk note series stuff. But this one coming in at a suggested list price of $30. And again, that's the alternate cover of Milo Goes to College with the Punk Note Edition artwork. Okay, back to music on vinyl for one from Herbie Hancock. And this is Mwandishi, and it's coming on limited edition 180-gram green colored vinyl. And by limited edition, we mean that this is one of 2,000 individually numbered copies on that green vinyl. The description says that this is one of Herbie Hancock's first departures from the traditional idioms of jazz, as well as the beginning of an original and creative style, which eventually appealed to a wider audience. So Mwandishi was Hancock's attempt at continuing the musical principles and styles that he explored in his previous experiences with Miles Davis. So a little experimental side for Herbie Hancock with this one. Music on vinyl release, Mwandishi, green colored vinyl, limited to 2,000. $40 is the suggested list price for this. Also on the jazz side, we've got a reissue of Sonny's Crib from Sonny Clark. This is the Blue Note Classic Vinyl Edition. Sonny Clark, if you're unfamiliar, is one of the finest pianists of the hard bop era of jazz. Sonny Clark followed up his 1957 Blue Note debut, Dial S for Sonny, with this one, Sonny's Crib, a swinging set of standards and Clark originals. This one features John Coltrane on tenor sax, by the way, Donald Byrd on trumpet, and Curtis Fuller on trombone. This Blue Note Classic Vinyl Edition is being released in stereo, all analog, mastered by Kevin Gray from the original master tapes, and pressed on 180-gram vinyl at Optimal. Black vinyl reissue of Sonny's Crib, the Blue Note Classic Vinyl Edition, $28 is the suggested list price for that. And while we're on jazz, let's look at this reissue of Monk's Dream from Thelonious Monk, coming on a limited edition 180-gram blue colored vinyl. Very, very cool. This release presents the complete original LP Monk's Dream, which marks Thelonious Monk's first LP for Columbia Records, and it became his best-selling album ever. So in addition to the reissue of this is the complete album. It also features 2 bonus tracks and contains specially new prepared liner notes by Penguin's Guide to Jazz writer Brian Morton. Limited edition on blue colored vinyl, this reissue of Monk's Dream from Thelonious Monk. $24 is the suggested list price there. Side note, this is another one, if you ever find an original, it's worth a little bit of money. And finally today, let's get some blues snuck in here. With a reissue from Robert Johnson, this is King of the Delta Blues Singers. Limited edition 180-gram vinyl. I do believe that this is on black vinyl. The description says the legendary Robert Johnson was just 27 years old when he died, but this album stands at the crossroads of American music. He became the first modern bluesman, evolving the country blues of the Mississippi Delta. Johnson was a songwriter of searing depth and a guitar player with a commanding ability that inspired every blues artist that followed in his wake. Several songs from this set were repeatedly covered throughout the blues rock explosion in the 60s, mainly by artists you might know like Eric Clapton, Peter Green of Fleetwood Mac, the Rolling Stones, John Mayall, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, ZZ Top, among many others. This is the complete album, reissued, but it also has 3 bonus tracks on this as well. Robert Johnson, King of the Delta Blues Singers, limited edition black vinyl. This one coming in at a suggested list price of $24. And that is a quick check of some of the releases headed our way for Friday the 19th of September. If you're local and you see something you'd like us to get a hold of, just contact us here at the store. If you'd like to see the full list, all the stuff we couldn't get to in the video, head over to our website at radiowasteland.com. From there, feel free just to click on that upcoming releases link. You'll see all of the stuff that we didn't get to in the video, as we mentioned. And if you see something on that bigger list that you'd like us to get a hold of as well, just contact us and we'll put in an order for it. Also, one other final note for those of you locally who have ordered or pre-ordered rather the Buckingham Nicks album, the high fidelity version, I'll be contacting you to make sure that we can get one for you. And if not, we'll find out if you're interested in waiting for that repressing later on. Sorry, folks, sometimes that happens when they oversell or lesser print something that they probably should have been thinking about. All right, well, until next week, this is Jim from Radio Wasteland. Thanks again, everyone, for being here.